the counties, and they had a safe ride to Monrovia. Thank you all for joining. And as you all may know, I participated in a Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study Program. It was a 10 months scholarship to the US, and I was placed with YFU because they have the recruitment organization. The program is sponsored by the Department of State, but they have the recruiting organization and then they have the placement organization. So I was recruited by IN Liberia, but I was placed with YFU. So when I'm in Liberia, or when we were in Liberia, we did all our project with IN, and then when we came to the US, then we were turned over to YFU to do our programming. So throughout my exchange here in the US, I was being with YFU and monitored by YFU volunteers here, and I attended a lot of YFU activities. And some of the trainings that we did here were also, hosted by YFU. And after my exchange program, I was still in touch with YFU. And last semester, I was one of the virtual exchange program uh, participants. And that was a very, very good experience. And this semester, I'm also part of the virtual exchange program. The virtual exchange program, Catherine is going to talk a lot about it. And we have some of the participants here today among you guys there. They are also part of the virtual exchange program. And hopefully next semester we can have even more students from Liberia. But Catherine is going to touch base on that as well. And so my experience with YFU has been so great because right now I'm also serving as the digital diplomacy intern for West Africa. So Catherine is my boss because I'm working with her as an intern, and also working with BUBL team over the past months to make the summit a success. And this wouldn't have been done without YFU support because the virtual exchange program is a way of connecting to people from all around the world, making network and being able to do virtual exchange and be able to actually successfully do a virtual program. YFU, why we owe our YFU a lot in that regard because they train us, give us opportunity, and give us the tools that we need to successfully implement such a program. So I would say thank you all for coming for taking your time to attend this summit, and we appreciate the impact and the input you will be making throughout the summit from today up to tomorrow. And we are glad to work with you. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will take some questions later on after Catherine has spoken. And until then, I will just sit here and watch. Thank you.
Thanks, Musa. Yeah, I would definitely refer back to you to speak a little bit more about what you actually did on your year exchange and how that's kind of created this summit. And I think you spoke to the skills that you gained in virtual exchange, coordinating all of this possible. So I want to try to share my screen and play a video for you. So let me see if this is going to work. And you can confirm on your end if you can see my screen.
I can see your screen.
You can see the screen, you can see the YouTube here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna first try to play this video here. Let's see if you can hear the sound. Can you hear that sound?
No.
No, you cannot?
Didn't. Okay.
You can hear that?
I can't. I don't know if the participants can. Yeah.
Stay now loud.
At the conference, is it possible for you to pull up YouTube?
Yes.
Can I send you this the videos to play?
Okay. it in the chat here to you. So this is a video as of our chairman of the board of Youth for Understanding. He was a former ambassador and has done a lot of work and travel throughout Africa. And so I want to first take a moment to listen to his experience. And my follow-up question to all of you is why is cultural exchange important and why should it matter to you? So we'll take the 3 minutes if you can play the video on that end, and then we will come back to discuss.
Okay, we'll take the video.
Is it working?
Yes, working.
Okay.
And that did change my life. Not because it gave me some kind of fancy certificate that I could then take to the State Department and say, see, I'm now international, officially hire me. No, it changed my life because it changed the way I saw the world, changed the way I saw my own country, and it changed the way I saw myself. So my experience is not unique. You will meet other people who've been on exchange programs, and I think they will all tell you that that experience, it bends you, it shapes you, maybe it turns you inside out for a while, but you will be a better person because of it. You will learn so much, and even if you end up not pursuing a career internationally, even if you stay in the town where you grew up, you will find that the experiences that you had will change the way you see the world, the way you see your life, how you interact with people, and will give you some amazing memories that you will never forget. So once again, congratulations. Thanks for joining us, and I look forward to hopefully meeting you somewhere along the way. Goodbye.
Awesome. So what do you all think? To you, what does cultural exchange mean? Is there anyone who could offer a definition or a meaning to cultural exchange? I think I saw a hand. You can
So
speak up.
anyone? Yeah. Okay. Hanson, you want to do that?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I
Just stand up and be a little bit audible.
yeah, I'm a student of the Virtual Exchange Program too. I believe from definition is encouraging cultural diversity and creating a life that everyone can interact in creating a global society where everyone's ideas can be the common goal of having a proper understanding of how we interact from our culture and provide analysis of our own self-understanding of bringing our cultures to a common understanding that everyone can have a faith understanding of it.
Very good. Does anyone have anything to add to that? Yeah, I see another hand.
We'll take a little over there. Choice.
We can't see the lady though.
That's gonna be a lot of stuff. She's far. I'm sorry, you won't see her better.
Or maybe
Maybe
she
she
can,
will come
she
little.
can-
She
or
will
she
come a
can
little
come.
bit closer to the screen.
Yeah, maybe she can come a little bit closer so we can see.
Okay. Okay.
Hello.
So I'm an alumni of the Community Legal Student Exchange and Study Program. So cultural exchange is very important because it helps break stereotypes of other people cultures. Like, for example, if you stay in your country, you won't know what's going on, how other people live at the other country, their life, the things they do. You would just be like, oh, so this is how this place looks. Is bad. Once until you get there, you will not know the good things that the place has. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Katherine, someone wants to say something too?
Yeah, we'll do one more for why cultural exchange is important.
Okay. Better
My name is Christopher Kingley. From how I understand, culturality has to do with the mind of the youth. Because we know that the youth can make a better change when it comes to society development. So with the understanding of BUL, I think we make better than BUL. Thank you.
Great. So I heard a lot of common themes among everyone there. So a lot of people talked about youth or your perspective, meeting other people. And so this kind of leads into a term called global citizenship. Who has heard of global citizenship? Can anyone guess what global citizenship might mean?
Okay, you can do that. Just stand up, please. So.
Well, I'm Emmanuel Esquire, student of Virtual Scheme. Well, when we talk of global citizenship, it's a clear indication to tell you that, global citizenship, it means that you are a citizen for a lot of countries where you will get to know different countries. Like we are just there with the connecting culture in the Virtual Exchange Program, where we connected with some colleagues from different countries, and now we got to know some things that they are having in their country. Today is my first day being in the embassy. When I came here, I saw some few things that I've been seeing in my classroom, in my email box, and I was able to identify them. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah, so in the word global citizenship, we have the word global. But the important thing to remember is that when we're thinking of cultural exchange, whether that's in person or virtual, it's not just at the global level. So to be a global citizen is to also be thinking at the national and at the local level as well. How many of you speak more than one language? If you speak 2 languages, 3 languages, how many of you speak more than one language? Raise your hand. If you speak more than one language, raise your hand.
We have a couple of people here.
So all of you are a part of 2 cultures, and you interact with 2 cultures in your everyday life. in Liberia, you have so many different cultures within one country. And so we also want to challenge you when you're being a global citizen to consider global perspectives and global solutions, but to your local community and to your local, taking local action with those global perspectives. If you're able to play the other video that I had sent to you, this video is also from a YES alumni from Liberia. She's a YFU alumni who participated in virtual exchange. And this was one of our projects that we had done in the program. And so it's her speaking about her hopes for herself, her hopes for her community, and her hopes for the future of the world. So it's just a quick 1-minute video. So let's just take a moment to listen to her.
Okay.
My hope for the future is to be a great educator that will help shape the lives of all my students. My hope for the community is to see us working together, uniting everyone and keeping the smile and joy in every household. While my hope for the world is for us to forget our differences and focus on what pulls us together as citizens of the world. My hope is also for us to stop acts that makes us inhuman and create a world free of violence, prejudice, racism, and discrimination.
Awesome. So that's just an example of the power of exchange and the power of youth voices and how important it is to share that with one another. And so moving, oh, sorry, was it? That must have been another one. That's my voice as well.
Sorry, Katherine.
No worries. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so really what I want to get across is that you can experience cultural exchange in so many ways. So whether you choose to pursue a physical study abroad opportunity, which I think we all definitely encourage you to do if you have the opportunity, and the YES program is really an incredible opportunity for high school students. If any of you are still in high school, you can pursue that. But there are also so many international opportunities to try and experience another culture. And where my program came in was to meet the need of students who are either not quite ready to go on a physical exchange, but primarily those who are not able to access a physical exchange. There are so many, we recognize that there's so many barriers to actually going on a study abroad, whether that's cost, whether especially at the high school level, a lot of parents don't want to send their high schooler away for an entire year. There's sometimes the student themselves is just not quite aware yet of what's out there in the world, and they don't know where they want to go or what they want to study. And so we created the virtual exchange program 3 years ago, and we started between the US and Tunisia. And since then, and Tunisia is also a huge YES program country. And so since then, we have expanded to having students from over 40 countries participate in our virtual exchange classrooms. And each semester we have generally about 30 to 35 in the classroom. And so what makes virtual exchange unique to a physical exchange is that we create multi-country classrooms. So instead of coming to the US and learning all about American culture and getting really good at English and really knowing one culture well, you are in a space with students from 30 different countries where you get to have discussions and do collaborative projects together and kind of see the bigger picture or the wider perspective of your global counterparts. And so the last video I have for you is just 30 seconds, and it's a sneak peek into our virtual exchange classroom. So you can see what types of projects are possible with virtual exchange.
Let's take a quick tour of the platforms just to demonstrate how the participants are able to remotely collaborate and engage from all around the world. With these projects, digital diplomats get to experience the world through the eyes of their peers as they explore photos of unfamiliar places, try a new food from our virtual recipe book, and put the knowledge and skills they've gained during the exchange into action by going into their community to hear and share the stories that too often go untold.
Yeah, so that was short and sweet, but you get to see a little bit of a sneak peek at our Google Classroom and the way that we have projects to connect students. So the virtual exchange, our core program is set up as a semester program. So it consists of, that's still playing there?
Sorry, Katherine.
No worries. So our core program is the semester program, and in that program we have 5 projects. And so we start with the identity project, which is that Google map that you saw. Then we have 2 culture projects, one of which is the virtual recipe book, which is always delicious and makes me so hungry when I am reviewing that project. And it's really, really fun because our participants then can go and actually make these recipes at home. And so we've also had some very funny stories from teenagers trying to cook for the first time. And we've had some broken plates, we've had some burnt dishes, we've had a few disasters, but the experience in trying to actually make another culture's food, from the first process of going to the grocery store and seeing if you can even find those ingredients in your country, but then to the final step of actually getting to share that meal with their families. And that part is what's really, really cool about virtual exchange, is even though this is all happening over the computer, there's still opportunities to bring it into your daily life and to also share this experience with your friends, with your family, and with your community. So our last 2 projects talk about conflict and cultural misunderstandings, and that one ends with the hopes video that you had just seen. And then we turn our focus to current events, and we think about what's happening on a local, on a national, and on a global scale, and what are the stories that we want to tell that maybe aren't told in the news. What is our personal narrative? So that's the core semester program. And as Musa mentioned, really the focus is on giving youth and giving students transferable skills. So we are teaching you how to use this Google platform, Google Slides, how to use Google Maps, how to use all these tools to be able to go forward and connect and create these similar type of projects in the future. And so that's kind of where Musa's role as my digital diplomacy West Africa intern came in. This semester, I have 3 of our alumni from Musa representing West Africa. I have alumni in South Asia and then in North Africa. And so those are 3 areas where the potential of youth is so huge, but we just haven't fully been able to connect and give those opportunities to make those voices heard in those countries. And so with working with alumni like Musa, the goal is to continue building this programming and to get youth and alumni in the countries to go forth and create additional workshops and ways of engaging their communities. Musa, do you have anything to add to that or to your experience?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I actually didn't mention my experience with Better Understanding for a Better World, which actually, led to the foundation of Better Understanding for a Better Liberia. And that was a very good program. And everything happened through YFU. So YFU definitely has been a very big impact in my life personally, and also in everything I've been doing so far. And I'm back here now in the US studying, and it's been really fun. However, before I move forward, I want to recognize our guest speakers today, Honorable Sheikh Mohammed Ayub Dukere, and then Mr. Yusuf Ashon Duke. He's our man. Yeah, a few months ago when I was in Liberia, we usually used to have him because he's a very good speaker, and we usually, we're happy having him around. And also we have Pastor Jonathan. So thank you all for accepting our invitation to speak to our guests, to our participants today. We really do appreciate it. And to all our invited guests, that show up today, we are very grateful for that. And so, continue with my experience during the US. I mean, when I was in the US as an exchange student and what I did with YFU. When I was here, we did I remember we did like three trips. Each of those trips, we had students from YFU is all about connecting the dots from all around the world. So one of those trips, we went to a city in Michigan here. It's called Traverse City. And then we had students come from all over, so I had my friends from Germany, and I made a lot of friends here when I was here. And one though that really had a very big impact in my life was the Better Understanding for a Better World conference that was here in Baltimore, Maryland. And having seen those potential young people from 30 plus countries come together to share their experiences. I mean, when I was here, before coming to the US, I was in student politics and student, activities, but I had no idea, I was going to be something global policy or global youth participation and global youth networking. That was not my plan. But when I attended the Better Understanding for a Better World conference in Baltimore, seeing those young people from those countries and then hearing their stories, okay, this is what we are doing in my country, and this is how we've been able to achieve this one because we came together and doing this one. So that really impacted my life. And visiting those places like the church and then the synagogue and the mosques, it really helped to transform my ambition from being I would say I was kind of selfish before coming to the US. But when I came and then having those experiences with YFU and then going to have that experience in Baltimore, it just transformed me to becoming more acceptable and more diverse somehow. And it's been continuing so far. And I'm really happy and glad that I can help the YFU team, especially Katherine, with the YFU programming, the virtual exchange, and what maybe we have in the future coming. And also with BUBL, the team, I'm very happy, and it's really fun working with you guys. even though I'm not in Liberia right now, I'm in the US, but you guys are just awesome. You made this possible and you've been working so hard to make this conference a success. And our participants and everyone that is there, I'm just grateful. Thank you guys all for coming.
Yeah, so
And
we can open it up for some questions now if anyone has questions for either Musa or I.
All right. If you have a question, just put your hands up and we're gonna answer. Okay.
Or if there's anyone from, can everyone who is there who is currently participating in Virtual Exchange raise their hand? If you're participating in Virtual Exchange, is there 3 of you there? I recognize Emmanuel's name.
We have like 4.
4 of them. Hi, everybody.
All right. So take a question from the lady.
You may need to come closer.
Yeah, they probably have to come closer to the camera so we can see.
Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. No, we stick. Oh, okay, now we can see. All right.
Just call your name and your question.
I'm YFU. My question is, how one can become a global citizen and exchange other people's culture based off with their.
You got a question?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, can you repeat that question, please?
My question is, how one can become a global citizen?
Okay.
How do you become a global citizen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they got a question.
Is there anyone in the room that thinks they can answer?
Yes. Is there anybody that can answer the question? How can one be a global citizen?
Or anyone have any ideas how you could become a global citizen? So we talked about the definition of what it means.
Okay, Catherine, we have one of our guest speakers that want to say something about that.
Yeah.
How can we become a global citizen?
How we can become a global citizen? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we have to move you a little bit so you can. Okay, yeah.
Hi, Catherine.
Can you see him now?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Okay.
When we speak of global citizenship, is being able to understand the lifestyle and culture of others and navigate your way through in a way that will make you adaptable in a global environment. And I want to give you an example. As a student at Morehouse College, in fact, as a Liberian in the US, one of the things you will realize in Africa, we are taught to be too humble. And part of the humility is when you're talking to others, you don't look at them in the face. Now, in the Western world, like in the States, if you're talking to someone and you don't look at them in the face, that means you're not honest, right? So that's a whole different realm of thinking. So being a global citizen is going to be where you have your culture, and then you also understand the next person's culture and be able to balance the two in a way that it doesn't take anything away from you. And at the same time, you don't overlook the next person's culture. You can then live anywhere without hindrances. As president of the International Student Organization at Morehouse College, yeah, a lot of things, even the handshake. Now, in the States, you shake people's hand, like in Liberia, you shake people's hand, and you do this, you do it, right? And you go this, and you snap your finger while your hand is together. But in the States, you do this, and you take your hand before you snap it, right? So it's a bit different. So when I got there, it was funny. Sometimes you shake somebody's hand, you want to keep the hand and stop it, and they are pulling your hand away from you. Like, what happened to my hand? Yeah, right? What happened to my hand? But then later on, I realized that was the way. So every time I met Africans, I was still accustomed to doing it the Liberian way. If I met Americans, and then I was accustomed to doing it that way. I could interact with them without any problem, and I could also interact with a community without any problem. That's part of what the understanding of being a global citizen, right? So that you have a global perspective and understanding of your culture and adapt them when the need arises without losing your identity. It has got nothing to do with political borders or anything. It's just the mindset and the cultural adaptation. And you see that for someone from Japan, the way they speak to you is quite different from someone coming from Bangladesh or somewhere else. So you just understand the variation and the diversity of culture and accept them
Again, the most important thing is you don't lose yourself in the process. You maintain your own culture, and then accept others' culture and be able to apply when the need arises. Katherine, does that help?
Yes, thank you so much. That is a wonderful example. And I think that speaks to an important point as well, that global citizenship, as he was explaining, is just understanding cultural perspective. So it doesn't mean that you know every culture in the world or you know how to interact in every single country. No matter how much you travel or how many people you meet, you're still going to come to situations where you meet someone and maybe there's a cross-cultural misunderstanding. And an important thing that we emphasize in our program is that conflict or misunderstanding isn't always bad. It isn't always negative. It can actually be a healthy way of learning from the situation, because where there is a conflict or a cultural misunderstanding, there's also the space for a conversation. And so being a global citizen simply means that you're willing to have that conversation, that you recognize, I don't know everything. This person from another country might have an idea that's different to mine that might be better, or it might help resolve this situation. So I think that's a really, really great explanation of how it can work in between one-on-one with cultures. But then thinking on the global scale, it's really all about you and your own perspective and how you view the world and what it has to offer you. Do we have any other questions, or does that answer your question well?
Any other question? Can we take them?
Okay, thank you very much.
That'll be a break. We have time.
I want to know how can one be a part of this all important youth exchange program? Yeah.
The virtual exchange or the physical exchange?
The virtual exchange.
Yeah, so I was going to put a plug in at the end of the talk, but I'll do that now. So our virtual exchange program is open to youth aged 14 to 35. Due to the African definition of youth is up to 35. So if you are in age range, why are we laughing?
Got everyone laughing here.
Yeah, what he said just made them laugh. All right, you can please continue.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, part of the reason is also just to keep it open for educational opportunities. And so, if you're in that age range, you can apply online at join. You can look up YFU USA Join Virtual, and I can maybe show you. Well, maybe not. And so our application is online. There is a $25 application fee, but anyone here attending this conference, when you get to the end, you can enter just BUBL, and we will waive that application fee for you. So it is just the application, you fill it out, and then you will be accepted and registered to join our fall semester. So the next semester program will be starting at the end of September, and it goes through mid-December. So if you are interested in applying to join Virtual Exchange, the deadline will be at the start of September. But you can find that application online now, and I can probably share it with Musa to be shared out with all of you after the conference as well.
Yeah, you can do that.
If you are over 35 and you're still interested in getting involved, we welcome you and we would love to connect with you. Something that Musa and I are working on is creating a West Africa youth innovation team. And this team would be mainly of alumni of our program, but also of any professionals or anyone who has expertise that they want to contribute to make more programs and opportunities like this possible in your country. So if you are interested, there's definitely ways to get involved, and we would love to work with you.
All right, Katherine. So we'll take like 1 or 2 more questions and then.
Yeah, let's take 2 more questions and then we can wrap up.
So any other question? Question from anyone with regards to the virtual exchange program? The brother in the white sleep, yeah.
What's wrong with this? Christopher King. Kenya requires a brand Islamic Youth for Progress organization based in Jerome as a town community. I think the virtual exchange program, will you please share the website so we can be a follow-up? Yeah,
it's hard to hear. Can you repeat the question by the?
He's asking for the website, so yeah. we will share that.
Yeah, we will share it. We will share it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One thing I did not mention is throughout our program, we award digital badges, and at the end, you can earn a certificate of cross-cultural competence. So what this means is essentially what we just were talking about. To be cross-culturally competent means that you're able to interact and work in any multicultural space. And so by the end of our program, you've gained this competence, but you've also gained all of these skills throughout the semester that we recognize and award you digital badges for, so that you could go forward and show your friends, your employers, universities, what you've been doing over the course of the semester. And so I think we could take another question. We have time. Yeah.
The last question. Yeah. Maybe let's take this. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much for affording me the opportunity. My name is Musa for the virtual exchange program, the physical challenge people involved into the process.
Katherine, did you get that?
I heard physically
challenged people, disabled.
Right.
Physically disabled?
Yeah, physically challenged. They are physically disabled.
Yeah, so that is a really awesome community that we engage with with Virtual Exchange. We actually had, Musa, you probably know Brooklyn from your semester. I think she was in your classroom. One of our alumni from YFU, she's from the US and she is in a wheelchair, and she went to Germany for an exchange program, but ended up getting further injured, and it was just too difficult to do a physical exchange with her disability. And so she was very, very upset, but she ended up having to come home and was not able to go on exchange until she found Virtual Exchange. And it was a way for her to be able to connect and explore the world while she wasn't able to physically travel. And she's actually now back in Germany after her Virtual Exchange. She got the confidence to make it work and go back. But we also have all types of people with disabilities who are able to engage in our program. So this semester we have one student who is deaf. So she participates and she's able, she does all her videos in sign language and then just provides a translation. And so it's a really awesome opportunity for no matter your background, no matter where you come from, Virtual Exchange is accessible to you. And we want you to be a part of our community.
Okay. I think that was the last question. So Katherine and Musa will give you each 1 minute to close up. So I don't know who, Katherine, will you go first or Musa?
Yeah, I think we might have just lost Musa. But so I mean, my wrap up was just going to be to encourage you all to get involved with Virtual Exchange. And even if you don't get involved with YFU, to keep your mind open and to always be looking for opportunities to connect with people from other cultures. So you can do that right from your own home, within your own community, or on a global scale. So if you are interested in getting involved with Virtual Exchange, please talk to the 4 who are there with you in person about their experience, and we will send out the link for you to apply. So I look forward to having you all join us.
All right, Katherine.
Oh, we have Musa back. Musa, you want to give a 1 minute wrap up?
I want to say thank you guys for showing up today and making this one a success. And we are very grateful for the commitment you guys have shown coming from the counties, especially those participants that came from Maryland and Lofa and all those far away places. You know, is very grateful, and we are very appreciated. And also to our guest speakers, kudos to you guys, and we are very grateful for accepting our invitation to speak to our participants and making our program a success. I want to say thank you for attending, and you guys have a very good day. We have to get started with our Uno day here because it's early in the morning.
Okay, Katherine and Musa, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.